Emma, what a bloody treat. And also, what a treat to see you in this role. This just feels like so exciting. And I just, oh my God, I loved it.
I'm so glad you loved it.
Did it jump off the page at you?
It did jump off the page. It really, really did. Just her character, you know. She doesn't say, I mean, actually I started reading it and I thought, first of all, I thought, it's great, she doesn't say anything at all. I love that, because I was quite scared of the Minnesotan accent. You know, that was one of the big hills to climb. It took a long time. But I just, it was so original. I'd never come across anyone like her. Mm-hmm. I don't think I can think of anyone like her.
No, I was just having that conversation with someone of going, it's like, and you go, it's not.
No, it's not like anything. It's got that wonderful combination of, yes, it is a thriller, but it's also funny.
Yeah.
And it's terribly unexpected, because you just don't know what she's going to do next. And
she's a survivor.
She's a survivor, absolutely. And you see how deeply connected she is with the landscape that she's grown up in, and how that's formed her. You know, formed her responses suddenly, and her thinking all the time. What can I do? What can I do? And this kind of calm that you can see where it's come from. She's lived in that environment all her life, and she's a deeply grounded individual, grounded not only in the landscape and in her practicality, but in her sort of decency, and of course in the relationship that she had all her life with this man whom she loved, her husband, and that kind of normalcy and the happiness of that decent, quiet, normal life, I think is quite a revolutionary examination, because most of the time we seem to be obsessed with the super rich at the moment.
Yeah.
And suddenly there comes this heroic woman who's just like all the women we know. Do you know what I mean? It's like she's not unusual.
I just did that at the weekend with my kids.
But, you know, I don't know many women who haven't survived something.
Yeah.
You know, this is a very extreme example. But nonetheless, her heroism is not, as it were, unexpected.
You mentioned that accent, and I thought it was brilliant, by the way. And because it's a real, such an important part of her character, I think.
It is, absolutely.
In the way that she talks to herself occasionally, and in the way she communicates with other people, and it tells us so much about her, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I spent, Gaia and I spent a long time talking to Minnesotans, and particularly to Minnesotan women who had that absolute kind of just so dead plumb line, like straight down the line, no bullshit, no side, no sort of but also funny. You know, you don't necessarily expect from Americans. Dry, like the Finns, actually. So there's a real link between, of course, the same latitude, same kind of weather, same kind of...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really similar. There's a place in Minnesota called Finland.
Is there?
Yeah, absolutely. Even the trees are very similar. So the landscape is... And the story that she tells about her grandfather is true. So one of the writers, Nicholas Jensen Larson, his great-grandfather, Ivan, was in that snowstorm and survived precisely as Barb describes. Wow. So it's real. The authenticity of it, I thought, that was the thing that really got me, really made me want to do it, but also made me very frightened and really determined to make her utterly authentic. You know, I was just like, I cannot get this wrong. Do not get this wrong, Thompson. So I spent so much time with these women. They really helped me.
And what was the reality of where you shot then? Did you shoot it?
We shot it in Finland. Wow. There was no ice in Minnesota. Climate change. But Finland, again, has this very, very similar environment, and all the lakes, the frozen lakes. So we shot on a frozen lake in Finland. And when I arrived a month before we started shooting, in order to acclimatise, it was minus 29 degrees. So walking out into that in Koli, in this wonderful place, which is only 60 kilometres away from the Russian border, you know, was just extraordinary. And you realise what the nature of real cold is then. Yeah. And I put my little onesie on and I wore it for that whole month. I just got into it every day. I got so used to it. So it was like it was
second
really
skin.
like second skin to me. Yeah, we could. It was not somewhere you could just have shown up and started filming. You absolutely had to be there. And so, all the redness on my skin, all of that is real. We got so cold, but it informs everything. It informs all of it. If any of it were false or CGI or whatever, you couldn't act it.
Yeah,
you just couldn't.
Even that kind of like when you're the noise of walking through it, or the crunchy, all that kind of thing as well. It takes us there. Absolutely, all those kind of little details and stuff, and it's amazing. It's like and Judy Greer as well. I've just got to that kind of cat and mouse
character.
Almost thing, and then her story unfolding and. It's and actually those 3 women that feature in it, and the depth of those stories and the writing.
I know.
That's kind of peeled back as the story goes forward is extraordinary.
Oh, I agree. I think it's a remarkable kind of onion skin of a movie, isn't it? It's just everything, as you say, everything's peeled back.
Yeah.
And then the exchange in the end is so interesting.
Yeah.
The exchange between Barb and the young girl. Laurel Marsden plays this young girl that they don't have. So that just sort of the way in which she inherits something from Barb, the last thing that she had to give, this gift of life, actually, the gift of wanting to live.
Yeah. And almost that kind of, the child that she never had is in that as well,
That's right.
In terms of that kind of the...
Yes, it's a form of giving birth, actually, in a way.
Yeah, and I see that as her drive as well, almost in saving this young girl.
Yes, without even, it would be a subliminal thought, but there's no question about it. She can't, she says, I'm not going to leave you.
Yeah.
She wouldn't dream of leaving her, even if it involves her own demise or her own suffering, whatever. She wouldn't dream of going. I mean, she could have decided, or said to those, the hunters when they show up, let's just go. And we'll get people and come back. She says, no, we've got to get there. We've got to sort this out, even though she doesn't know what's being planned either for this young girl. Yeah. So it's,
How, I mean, I want to talk about music for a second as well, because Volker Bertelmann's score for this is extraordinary. And I just feel like, again, it's almost like a character sort of throughout it. But in terms of the musicality of the environment, and I love how that's kind of almost given space within the film as well.
Yes.
And I wondered if that was something you noticed in terms of, talk about being in a real environment that is truthful to the story. And does that feed into you, as well, in terms of it's almost a remote nature of it, and what that gives you, I guess, is kind of fuel for...
Oh, God, yeah. Because you realise that if we'd just been left on that frozen lake and everyone had gone, how would you survive? There's nowhere to go. Yeah. It's not like the frozen lake is next to a nice warm hotel. It isn't. Or a nice warm caravan. You're far away from being warm. So you have to kind of buckle up, actually, and just deal with it. If we ever got truly sort of too cold, really, then you could be hauled off and warmed up in a hot box somewhere. But actually, generally speaking, I found it was better to stick outside and just keep going through the days. And of course it was quite dark as well, because it was midwinter. It was February and March. And sometimes it was very cold, and then sometimes there would be this sudden kind of thaw. And then we'd all be looking at water and the snow team would have to bring great sleds of snow and put it on. It was just the strangest of jobs. In that sense, it was so physical. Every day was so physical. And I think that, again, that just really formed the character. There wasn't a thing that you always had to think about what gloves you were wearing. How do you get, she was pulling the thing off the window. The Minnesotan said, you always take your gloves off and you always stow them somewhere. You've got to stow them. You've got to keep them, because without your gloves, you will die. That's the end of it. It's like on the mountains, you ain't got your gloves, sayonara. So, and yes, indeed, I haven't got a needle. What am I going to do? I'm going to straighten out a fishing hook. Ow. So
did you love
fun.
it?
I loved it. Loved it.
You can tell. But it's so... I don't mean... Please don't take this... I mean, it's such a... Because I said it is a gift as a fan to watch you in the show, because it's so different to what we've seen you in. But you can just tell that you're like, oh, this is... I'm loving this.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, it was brilliant. It was scary, and I think that's good.
Yeah, being scared's good.
Just being scared is good, especially at my age. I thought, because you don't want to be doing, stuff you've done before particularly. I think I've done first-timey stuff, much more actually, in my 50s and 60s, and I've loved that. I mean, this is seriously like, why on earth? There were moments when I just thought, why did I say yes to this? I've forgotten, along with all of the other things, comforts. I've forgotten those as well. I've forgotten what it's like to be warm. There were many moments.
Worth it though in the end.
Oh, aye.
Can I ask you about music and where music sits with you as a performer in terms of, do you use music at all to help with character? And when you're writing as well, do you have music around? Where does music sit with you creatively?
I'm a great fan. I mean, I love music of all kinds, but I'm also a great fan of silence, because silence is never silent. So for this movie, as you said, the sounds of the nature, the sounds of the snow, the sounds of the ice, the sounds of the cracking, the thunderous noise that the frozen lake made, that was the music of that film for me.
Yeah.
Was the noise of the outside world was just extraordinary. The quality of the silence on a frozen lake is just extraordinary. A kind of desert noise, but there's no desert. The sound of, for instance, the wind would come up and it would blow snow across the ice, and this wonderful noise, And then some days it would be completely still, but then suddenly something would happen to the lake, to the ice, and there would be this.
Oh wow! It's living,
like a living thing.
Yeah,
the whole landscape was alive all the time.
Yeah.
And I thought that Walker's music really plugged into that.
Yeah.
There's a kind of, a keening noise to it, and he's just using the wind and the sound of some of the notes are just like a kind of, like an icicle.
Yeah. It's almost like a tuning fork to the environment in a way. It's kind of like he's kind of sort of banged that on whatever it is that's been focused in that screen.
Aye. Yeah.
I want to take you back because this was a weird memory I had today of when I was a little girl in my mum and dad's hotel in Scotland, and the cast and crew of Tutti Frutti came to stay at the hotel.
Oh, where were we?
Anstruther in Fife.
Anstruther, yeah.
And I was telling my mum that I was coming to interview today, and she was like, oh, do you remember when they came and stayed at the hotel? And it was so weird, and I'd totally forgotten about that and you being in it. And it was kind of like, oh my God, this is so bizarre. And that was a show, weirdly, that I think it should be rerun because it was so great, and it was the very start of us getting to know you as an actor.
Yeah, it was my first straight role.
Yeah, but I'm gonna sort of petition for it to have reruns on the.
I expect it's to do with performing rights.
Maybe
of all the songs. Maybe that's hard.
What do you remember about that show? What are your memories?
I mean the writing. Again, it's always the writing, isn't it? John Byrne, his writing, it's just a work of genius. His words, it's a poetry. It really is, and hilarious, of course.
Yeah, and those moments where you recognise how important that has been for you as a performer, is that inspired you then back then to get into writing and writing?
I had always written. I'd always written comedy.
Yeah,
comedy sketches. I was always trying to sort of write myself, but it didn't occur to me to write straight things in the same way as I was a comedian. It didn't occur to me to do straight acting, but I just gave it a go, That's how it was. But I mean, I was writing sketches for radio long before Tutti Frutti or writing screenplays. Yeah, absolutely. I've always written.
And when you are writing, you talk about you like silence. Do you have to write to silence, or can you make, I speak to people, sometimes they'll make a playlist for either a character or for maybe the location of where things are going to be. Does music fuel you in that way at all, or is silence the thing for you when you're writing?
I can't because when music plays, I have to listen to music. To the music.
Yeah.
I don't like background music.
Yeah.
I just don't like
Lift
it. I don't like
music.
it in restaurants. Don't like it in particularly don't like it in lifts. But I don't like it. I like to listen to music when it's being played.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll put some on to listen to it while I'm doing something actively.
Yeah.
But when I'm writing, no. And I used to be able to go to, when I was writing comedy sketches, I wrote in cafes and stuff like that, because the sound of people talking, I can write to that.
Yeah.
But my favourite is silence, because then I can hear the voices in my head. Music is in my head and it fills me, because it's such powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
And when it's in the background, it's supposed to be in the background. I can't relate to it like that. I'm going, just stop. It confuses me.
Yeah. I was, sometimes as well, it can take you, because it's almost a bit like a time machine in a way sometimes.
Absolutely.
That it can take you to a place and you're going, well, no, that's the opposite of where I need to be to write for this moment or this character. So you've got to eliminate that in a way for sure.
I do. But I understand that for some people music would be a tremendous help.
What are the moments that spring to your mind where you think of characters that you've played where music's been a big part? Because you've performed, you do perform, you know, whether it's as a voice in Beauty and the Beast or I'm not going to mention the Lambeth Walk, which I know that you... I loved reading them, twitching away about it. But you know, there's you know, Matilda as well, amazing interpretation of that character and just done so well. Have you enjoyed those moments where you've performed with music?
Yeah, they're sort of apex moments when you get to perform with music. Yeah. That's just... And Matilda's all sung live, and also doing Sweeney Todd with Bryn Terfel at the Lincoln Center in New York with the New York Philharmonic. Wow. Was just the most... I mean, just one of those peak moments in life where you just go, I can't believe I've been allowed to do this. I really can't believe it. So definitely when you get the chance to do a character through song, it's so powerful. So powerful. I mean, not all characters can do that. Yeah. But when I have had that chance, I would do another musical. Yeah. Absolutely, on film.
Do you write one?
We're writing Nanny McPhee at the moment. We've been writing it for years. Me and Gary Clark. Off of
Hue and Cry. Oh my God.
Mary's Prayer.
Yeah. Dundee Boy.
Oh
my God.
I've spent quite a lot. I was snowed in weirdly in Dundee. When do you remember there was that year before COVID?
Yes, I do.
I was up working with Gary in Dundee and got snowed in. Yeah. Wow. So we've been working on it for 8 years. And it'll be coming to a theatre near you quite soon.
Oh my God, it's
so exciting. I mean, I'm just writing it. I'm not going to be in it, but to create, because I don't know, to create. No one's asked me. I'm.
You wrote it.
Resentful. No, I just to watch people expressing what I've written through music. It's just been one of the greatest experiences of my professional life. It's really one of the greatest privileges, actually. So yeah, writing lyrics to Gary's music, we write together. It was just been sublime.
So exciting.
I can't wait for you to see that.
My God, I can't wait. Last thing. Yeah. Because sometimes when a needle drop is used in a film, suddenly the scene that features in becomes attached to that piece of music, in that every time you hear that piece of music you see that scene in that film played out. And for both sides now it's always you. And I mean, but that's in a nice way, in terms of it's obviously a very sad moment for the character, but it's you are Joni in that moment.
I've never heard from her. Do you think I should write to her?
Joni. I'll invite her to the Nanny McPhee opening night.
Yeah, absolutely. She's probably deeply irritated by it. But no, what an amazing singer-songwriter she is. And she's part of my landscape, my childhood. You know, I listened to Ladies of the Canyon endlessly when I was a girl. What a genius.
In terms of story and picture, that
Absolutely.
visual storytelling in her music, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed.
Thank you for this. I look forward to what's next in this adventure that you're on with these new characters and new beginnings in a way. It's so exciting.
It's great. It's
Yeah.
the third act, isn't it? I'm 66. I've got a few more years.
Yes.
I'll keep trying to surprise you.
Thank you for your time. Lovely chat.
So
Thank
nice
you
to
so
see
much.
you, Edith.